right, it's Wednesday. It's time for the Cornelius Custom Services 8 o'clock report. And anytime you hear the Tijuana taxi on a Wednesday, you know what that means.
It's time for Joe.
We're fixing to go to Tijuana. No, it's time for Joe. And Joe,
Tijuana's a little warmer than it is here today.
It may be. It's only 19 degrees outside with a wind chill of 4.
It's a balmy 19.
A very balmy 19, a wind chill of 4. Anytime you start getting into single-digit wind chills, that's always a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you have those kind of temperatures, you're always going to have the heaters on.
Yep.
And possibly you're going to be got those fireplaces out there.
Yep.
And when you start building fires inside your house, there is a possibility of a little bit of a disaster.
You know, there is, and fireplaces are one of those things in a home that you need to you need to make sure you do a little TLC, do a little bit of maintenance with it. What we're going to talk about today is just some tips to have a good fireplace. Make sure that the fireplace doesn't become a disaster in your home, burn your house down, something like that. A couple of things. You always want to make sure that at least once a year, just have the chimney inspected. You know, kind of get the guy from Mary Poppins out there with the little brush.
I was fixing to say, do those dudes just fly in and start taking care of business?
I think they do, yeah. But I don't know if they bring the Mary Poppins. But just have them take a look at it, possibly cleaned. You know, a lot of times if you burn a lot of wood, it'll create some soot in there, and you certainly don't want that. So have at least once a year, have somebody look up in there, clean, maybe go down from the top, just kind of brush it out a little bit.
Is there a difference in the kind of wood you burn that leaves more sooter than the other one?
I think you're baiting me on a question.
Just
there.
asking.
I don't know the answer to that.
Then all right, we'll just move on then.
Okay. I think you're baiting me.
Just asking.
You want to make sure that you, of course, install a chimney cap on top of the stack. Help ensure that the debris from the animals and stuff don't block it. You know, if you've got maybe some low-hanging trees over your roof, it's a great way for squirrels and stuff like that to get there and possibly fall down in there. So you want to make sure you put a cap on it. Make sure that you do have a working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, and be sure to have a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguishers, it's one of those questions when we're doing a homeowner's policy. They always ask, do you have a deadbolt? Do you have smoke detectors, carbon monoxide, things like that? So it's always a good idea to have those in the house. Maybe you're sitting by the fire, you get nice and warm, and you get toasty. Next thing you know, doze off a little bit. You want to make sure that if the fire starts going and whoopsie, that you're woken up to say, hey, get the heck out of the house.
What about smoke damage? I mean, do you ever have somebody that gets like a stuck, what do they call that thing in there? That
flue?
Yeah. And fills the house up with smoke?
Right. Yeah, it happens quite a bit. And it's just one of those things. Most of the time you can just kind of air it out, and you got to eat a little crow from the wife saying, hey, I told you to open that flue. And so if it gets real bad, you can certainly have somebody come out and take care of that from a remediation standpoint. Maybe get it out of the walls, the couch, the curtains, things like that. But, yeah, first thing first, you always want to check the flue to make sure that sucker's open, get good airflow going through. And just keep the smoke going up the chimney, not out into the house. So a couple other things. You want to make sure you clean out the ashes from your previous fire and kind of store them in a non-combustible container. Some folks have it to where you can brush them down under and it kind of goes outside. So depending on how the architecture of your fireplace is, just be sure to get those cleaned out. Another thing you want to make sure is always sure you have a fireplace grate. Keep the glass doors open while the fire is burning, but keep the fire screen closed, because those fire screens are designed to stop any, hot coals or maybe some flying coals from coming out and starting a fire inside the house. So keep those grates closed. You want to also make sure you keep the kiddos away. Fire is pretty, but it sometimes burns.
What about throwing stuff in a fire? You've seen kids do this before when the parents turn their back.
Right. Yeah, you always want to teach fire safety to your kids. Let them know that the fire is pretty, the fire is nice, but it's not something to mess around with. We don't want to be throwing things inside of it. Probably a good idea to keep things away from the fire, out of easy reach. I try to practice. Well, we don't have a fireplace here now, but we've had a house that's had a fireplace, and try to just keep things away from it that kids may want to pick up and throw in for fire, fire fun, I guess they would call it. But it's not fun.
And I mean, this is a legitimate question because I don't know. Do insurance companies give any kind of discounts on insurance if you have like a fire extinguisher or preparedness around the fireplace? Or is it all the same?
There is a discount if you have a fire extinguisher inside your house. It goes along the lines of if you have a fire extinguisher, a deadbolt, carbon monoxide, smoke detectors. Also, if you have a house alarm, a central reporting house alarm and fire alarm. So that's always a good thing to do as well. It's certainly not the discount on the alarms is not going to pay. It's not going to come out to be even when you have to pay for the service every month, but it's a pretty good idea. Those central reporting fire stations is great because in the middle of the night, smoke detectors go off. It's going to alert the fire department that, hey, there's something going on out here. So while you're preparing, have a plan ahead of time. Get your family together. Say, hey, if there's a fire, if the smoke detectors go off, this is where we go. This is our escape plan. This is where we go, and this is where we meet up. And so that you don't have to worry about, oh, my gosh, is someone still in the house? You can get out to your spot, whether it be by a tree, by a car, around the garage, something, so that you can get out there and do a real quick head count and know that everybody's safe.
So give them a call today and ask any questions. Joe will be more than happy to help you out with that.
Yep.
As far as and we do endorse the Mary Poppins chimney cleaners to come out and do that.
Yes, exactly. Have somebody come out once a year and at least take a look at it. Make sure everything's good to go. Make sure you're not going to have any issues. And, hey, enjoy the fire. It's fun.
Well,
Especially on a night like tonight.
I've seen people that burn a lot of mesquite wood.
Right.
There's a lot of, I guess, some kind of, I don't know what it is, comes out of mesquite will coat the inside of your chimney, and that stuff will catch on fire. So you got to be careful of that kind of stuff. So watch what you're doing out there, and you'll be glad. Now, if Joe, folks need to get a hold of you, ask any questions about what we've talked about or any kind of insurance, how's the best way to do it?
Real easy. It's 549-2525. You can call Sarah or Brenda. They'll answer the phone for you. You can talk to Ann, Lynette, myself, help you out with any home, auto questions that you may have. It's always a good time of year, once a year, to kind of have your agent to look over your policy, make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. If you want to come up, you can always come up to the second floor of the newly renamed Sierra Bank Building. So come on up to the second floor of the Sierra Bank Building. Come in, ask for myself or Ann or Lynette, and we'll look over your stuff, make sure you're getting taken care of the way you need to be.
How's the renovations going? Have you got your new office yet?
Yeah, the new office is there. The renovations are coming along great. Tile is looking awesome. Putting some new carpet down, stuff like that. New paint on the walls. It's really, really coming together nice. It looks very, very nice. So go check it out at Bryan Insurance Agency, serving ground for almost 100 years. All right, we got Love and Spoonful coming up with a little Summer in the City here on your Lincoln Leader. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Rick.
And we'll talk to you later on. Have a great day. All right, more coming here.